Happy Pride Month! Wait a minute. Isn't Pride Month is on June? We're in July, right? So how's it still Pride Month? Well, let me explain. Let's roll the intro. G'day folks, this is the most serious subscriber going here on YouTube, Bruzo Dragonius. As you already know, or as you are not aware, Pride Month is over in June, where there's companies in there that decide to change their logo into the normal logo and get rid of the rainbow and all that kind of stuff. But you see, Pride Month is over for the LGBTQ community, or about the Pride Month about the LGBTQ community, even though that you're going to, like, you have to be proud of who you are, you know, especially of LGBTQ+. But you see, like the Olympics, where you get the normal Olympics and the Paralympics straight after that, so too is Pride Month, where it's basically a 2-month event, both June and July. But wait a minute, you would have thought that June is Pride Month. Yes, like I know that June is Pride Month for the LGBTQ+ community, but there's another Pride Month that's on after that, and that is Pride Month for the disabled, or Disability Pride Month. And as you already know, that there is a pride flag for us in the disabled community, which is this. And yes, I am of that community. Because you see, and I'm not saying this as Bruzo, but as someone in real life, because you see, I myself am disabled. You would think, well, why are you walking? Well, you see, being disabled, you know, yes, I can walk perfectly. I don't really need a wheelchair and all that kind of stuff. But you see, a disability is not always visible. Yes, there are some people with disabilities that are on wheelchairs and all that kind of stuff. There are some people on disability that requires a cane to walk, or is needed a hearing device like a cochlear implant, or hearing aids because they can't hear properly. Hence that they need to sign as their way of communicating. Some people can't even see at all. So they are, in fact, blind. But you see, there's some other sensories that would be disabled to count a person that has a disability, you know, with their sensory or their physical disability. Like, for instance, with me. I can hear perfectly well. I can see perfectly well, except that I'm short-sighted. As in, I need to be like right as close as I possibly can reading words. Hence I wear glasses. But you see, since my childhood, as you already know, have been diagnosed as of the spectrum. Ever since in my childhood and all that kind of stuff. You see, I have been diagnosed with autism, to be precise, borderline autism. And the thing about it is that, as you already know, people within the autism, there's so many names of this I wouldn't call it a disease. I wouldn't call it exactly as a disability, but it is counted as a disability. But being an autistic person is basically a spectrum. You know, there's so many cliques and all that kind of stuff, you know. There's, like, I can't really describe, you know, the entirety of the autism and all that kind of stuff. But, you see, the way that I talk to you right now and all that kind of stuff is that, yes, I tend to pause and all that kind of stuff. We do have some sort of stimulants and all that kind of, stimulating type things. We do tend to do things, you know, as a bit of a, how can I say, a clique or a stigma, I should say. You know, many of us within the spectrum, you know, we tend to talk differently, like some of us. But with me, for instance, you know, like many people of us with autism can be very fixated onto things, you know, whether it's trains, cars. You know, I'm more of a car person. And there are many of us people within the spectrum in the furry community, you know, because hey, if you're not within the LGBTQ plus, and if you're a furry, then the other thing that you could probably be is that you would be having some sort of a intellectual disability like autism. In other words, that some of us, our autism brings us to the furry community because we have this fixation towards cartoon characters, you know, the fixation towards animals. Hell, the reason why I got into the furry fandom is also my fascination with costumes, with mascots, you know, that I was really, really fascinated with, for instance, of how people can actually see from these things, you know, whether it's like masks and all that kind of stuff, where you can't really see from, you know, you can't really see the performer's actual face. Being an autistic person myself, you know, it does bring some curiosities and all that kind of stuff about the world around us. Again, I can't speak for all, experiences for all people within the same spectrum as me. Okay? I can only talk about myself within the spectrum. So, even though that I'm not really aware of this Pride Month, and even though that it really surprised me that Disability Pride Month, I thought it's just a month I thought it's just a month, you know. I thought that once June is over, Pride Month is over, you know. I never knew that there is a Pride Month for us of the disability community, because we didn't get any Pride events based around the disability, except for, you know, except, you know, a while ago, like, you know, in Boston, you know, there's hardly any Pride parades, even though that I'm not the one to care about it, because I'm also an ally of the LGBTQ plus community. So it's quite flattering that we do have a Pride Month and also a Pride flag as well. So why do we have a Pride Month just for disabled people? Well, the way I put it is that, well, You see, people with all disabilities have, we do sometimes being bullied because of our disabilities, because of the way that we sort of behave and all that kind of stuff, our own social lives and all that kind of stuff. There are people that also see us as inspirations and all that kind of stuff. Or there's some people that would see us as burdens onto their day-to-day routines, like for instance, or even see themselves as burdens. That all people with disabilities want is to have independence and have as minimal help as possible. But there are some of us that has those limitations, like people that are deaf, people that are blind, people that can't actually walk, that can't walk for some reason, that has disabilities that they're born with, or disabilities that they got from trauma. I know that there are some people that might think, well, woe is me. I can't do anything. I needed to be babysat all my entire life. But that is not Disability Pride Month is all about. Disability Pride is to do with that is meant to have us celebrate our disabilities and all that kind of stuff. For instance, that just because that we are disabled doesn't mean that we can't do things that we wanted to do. Just because that we're disabled doesn't mean it's the end of the world for us. Or wondering or questioning, why the hell are we born? Yes, there are many of us that have been bullied and oppressed throughout history. Especially in World War II, where basically that people, autism, or back in the day, Asperger's, are seen as someone that has a mental illness. And we ended up, and people back in the day thought, well, this mental illness I should say, that is autism, can be cured. But at the same time, and even the alternate name, the scientist that Asperger syndrome is named after, Hans Asperger's, is a Nazi scientist that tends to experiment with people with autism to as a way of what makes them tick. Most disabilities can't be cured, or can never be cured, And some of those disabilities can be a part of us, a part of who we were. What I pretty much learned, as a person with Asperger's, is that, well, we can't have everything going our own way because of who we are. That we have to function in a society with other able-minded people, or that no laws, and there are not many laws that separate us from people that are non-disabled. And as we do speak, that there are so much political oppression towards people with autism of this ableist country that is Australia, because that you can't, that if I weren't Australian, I would not be allowed to be a citizen in this country. And that is a very sad fact, right? That I can't be considered, if I were a foreigner migrating to Australia, I cannot have my Australian citizenship as a single person because of my autism, because of my intellectual disability, which is kind of sad. But at the same time, that we are the only country that has the DSP, which is or the Disability Support Pension, and the NDIS. Otherwise, if it weren't for those, people like me, who depends on still accommodation, are completely screwed, I should say. And thankfully that there is a country like Australia where, again, with the DSP and all that kind of stuff, is that people on the disability support pension find it very challenging to find work because of their disabilities. It's not like that I wanted to be on the DSP, right? I know that it's really beneficial for me, but seeing that in the rising cost of living of Australia, where they flatlined DSP and not, going up with didn't catch up or cater to the rising cost of living, it tends to make it really hard on me financially. But at the same time, that Disability Pride Month to me, as an autistic person, is this 1 month that has this reminder of us saying that we shouldn't have this woe is me type attitude towards us for the rest of our entire lives. Being disabled is not, there's no cure for that, so you might as well be proud of who you are. Within this month of July, sort of gets me a reminder that be proud of who you are. Spread a lot of positivity, just because that you got a disability, just because that you can't walk because of trauma, doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Just because that you're even born as limbless, or you can't move your muscles and all that kind of stuff, that your life still matters. Whether you are blind, deaf, a quadriplegic, even disabilities that can't be visible, right? That you need to be proud of who you are, what potential that you actually have. It's to celebrate your accomplishments as a disabled person. For instance, you see an autistic person making a video that not only films it, not only talks to you through a camera, but also does his own editing and all that kind of stuff, and tries his hardest to upload every single video, like one video for every single week, just to entertain you. Because of the fact being is that I want to bring as much positivity and make so much content for you. If an autistic person dressed in a lizard mask has so much potential and getting into this stage where he has 2,100 subscribers, you can do it as well. So instead of focusing on this negativity, I don't want to bring this toxic positivity, but if you were to be positive towards yourself, this month, it's just a reminder that you are not always a burden on anyone just because of your disability. You're only a burden because of your behavior and attitude towards things, but never on your disability. So, this is just what I just have to say about it. As a matter of fact, like I said again, not all disabilities can be cured. But much rather a part of who you are. And people can actually accomplish things even if they're disadvantaged against the able people. So anyway, what are your thoughts on this Disability Pride Month as well? You can just add to this. Also, you can just rate the, you can criticise in the comment section below. Also, if you do like this video, make sure you press the like button. And if you wanted to support me for my work and want to watch other videos that I do watch and all that kind of stuff when it comes out, also please consider pressing the subscribe button, as it is a very small thing that you can actually do, but it means a hell of a lot to me. Also, if you have subscribed, and if you wanted to, and if you still wanted to be the first person to know, make sure that you smash the bell icon. And if you wanted to support me further, and also want to give me money, also there's links to that in the description down below. If you want to friend me on PSN, and if you want to look out for me in Tamriel, my gamer tag is Bruzo21. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope this video brings a bit of a positive message to you all. I hope it's not too much toxic positivity, but at least just positivity and all that kind of stuff. Happy Disability Pride Month. Thank you for watching. You're all amazing. Doesn't matter if whether you're able or disabled. It doesn't matter what disability you are. It doesn't matter of your what makes you you. Thank you for watching. I love you all. And also, let me close it up by saying, may this guide you all. Bye for now.